Hi there, it's Catherine at 3Ps. Welcome, thank you for joining me. This video is about the importance of getting your lunch right in terms of getting lean for summer. And it's based on the advice given by our nutritionist, Maia Lloyd, who's written a series of diet books with us, which are called Weight Loss Clinic, Secrets and Recipes. The lunch book, there are two. There's one that's called Soups and Salads and the other one which is called Brown Bag Lunches. I'm going to read a section from the Brown Bag Lunches one because I think that it has a good discussion of why getting lunches is important. And I'll just talk about some of the recipes in the book. But as I said, the main point of this video is to talk about why structuring your lunch is really important in terms of weight loss. And if you are looking to succeed at losing your weight, which hopefully you are, it's worth listening to Maia because she's a nutritionist who specialises in weight loss. She has 5 clinics in London that are all busy, so she's dealing day in, day out with people like us who want to get lean and stay lean. So I was going to read from what she says about lunches. Okay, so she says, why is lunch important to getting lean? Leaving long gaps between meals is a bad idea because it destabilizes blood sugar. There may be some diets that say fasting is actually good for you, for example the 5-2 diet. But in my experience of working with hundreds of clients one-to-one, I would say that skipping meals causes overeating at the next one. You are so starving that you literally vacuum up everything you can see in the fridge. What we also know is that starvation sets off a hormonal cascade that raises the level of a stress hormone called cortisol. This is associated with the laying down of fat in your midsection, so that muffin top can actually be a cortisol belly. The answer is to space your meals evenly through the day to spread your calorie load and even out mood and energy. Brown bagging is especially useful because it allows you to A, have food available when you need it, whether you're near a store or cafe or not, and B, have the right food available so you're not tempted by a slice of pizza or a chocolate bar. So that's what she says about why lunch is important. And she goes on to talk about why lunch doesn't help you or may not help you in terms of your weight loss. She says, when lunch isn't helping, what are the typical takeout lunches? Sandwiches, sushi, pasta salad, baked potatoes. All of these are high in sugar and in the case of sandwiches, made from wheat. Now, I am not of the all wheat is evil school of nutrition. A whole wheat wrap or pita can be a healthy option as part of a balanced meal. But there is no doubt that some people are allergic or have an intolerance to grains containing the protein gluten, highest of all in wheat. This can cause bloating, stomach pains, wind and constipation or diarrhea. It can also lead to water retention, which makes you look and feel, well, fat. So if you are a sandwich addict, I would urge you to think beyond your current pre-packed version and consider trying some of the recipes in this book. If you are still unsure, here is the verdict on sandwiches and other popular lunch options. Sandwiches. Leaving aside the wheat gluten issue with the bread, many fillings are high in unhealthy fats due to processed meats, ham or bacon, and greasy mayonnaise. To keep costs down and provide a cheap product, manufacturers tend to increase the bread and decrease the filling, the expensive bit, so leading to a protein-carbs-fats ratio that is high on carbs and fats and low on protein. The balance is wrong. Just an aside on that, not from the book, but an aside from talking to Maia. If you are in a situation where you've got no option but to have a shop-bought sandwich, if you want to decrease your carb load, the obvious thing to do is basically peel off half of the bread and slap the sandwich together, so you're increasing the amount of filling to carbs. So that's a simple thing you can do if you have to have a shop-bought sandwich. But what she's actually saying is shop-bought sandwiches are not going to really assist your weight loss, okay, because of the amount of carb in particular. Sushi. Touted as a super healthy lunch on account of the raw fish, good for healthy fats, and the fact that the rice is low in fat. However, sushi rice is not only white, which means bad, it is a pudding-style rice, which is badder, and is also sweetened with sugar, which means it's baddest. I have clients who love sushi, but what they don't realise is the reason they love it is the great wallop of sugar it is giving them. They might as well sit down to a donut, and I don't know whether you realise that. So what she's saying is if you eat sushi, you're eating basically a whole whack of sugar. Okay. Sashimi is that's a much better option because obviously that's just pure raw fish. Okay, pasta. A takeout pasta salad, restaurant pasta lunch, or even a homemade pasta dish reheated from the night before is many people's idea of a filling, cheap lunch. However, there's lots of howevers, aren't there? Pasta is a carb and breaks down into sugar in the body. If you go for pasta with a tomato sauce, you are not balancing the sugar with enough protein to keep you stable. You are liable to suffer from reactive hypoglycemia mid-afternoon as a result of your pasta sugar rush earlier. This will have you rushing for candy at 3 p.m. So what she's saying here is that because pasta is a fast carbohydrate, it will shoot your blood sugar up. Your body will release insulin to take the sugar out, and you'll then have a blood sugar crash. And you'll end up with a seesaw effect with your repeated cravings for more sugar, more sugar, more sugar. So it doesn't help your weight management, it doesn't help your mood, and it doesn't help your ability to stay on a diet. Okay, rice and baked potatoes. The same problem as pasta, only more so. When they measure the glycemic index of white rice and potato, GI is how quickly a carb food turns into sugar in the body. Potato and rice are right up there with table sugar. So potato and rice cause as much of a blood sugar reaction spike as table sugar. I don't know if you realise that. So when you're having a baked potato for lunch, you might as well just be taking pure sugar or sitting and eating sweets. They are incredibly high energy foods, she says. Adding a sugary, tomato-based sauce or a shed load of grated cheddar cheese compounds the problem. You will feel pretty good for about 40 minutes after eating it, then exhausted later on. So if you're the sort of person who has a lunch and then has a dip at around about 3, 4, you need to really look at your your lunch and how much of the fast carbohydrate you're eating, because that is what's causing that dip. In one of the books, I think it actually is lunch. It might be lunch. Maya tells a story about one of her clients who's a bodybuilder, who's a physique bodybuilder, so not a massive guy, but who's young in his early 20s, who was having real problems with his energy and mood levels, and that was because he was eating a lot of rice. So his lunch and his dinner was broiled chicken and white rice, broiled chicken and white rice, broiled chicken and white rice. That's what he was eating. And the result was his blood sugar was going up and down, up and down. It was affecting his mood. He felt terrible. It was affecting his energy levels. And one of the things that she did with him, for him, wasn't so much about taking weight off, it was remaining lean, but it was about persuading him to have a slightly broader diet and cut back and not have white rice, but have whole grain rice and a few vegetables to try and smooth out his blood sugar, smooth out his energy levels, smooth out his mood levels. And in fact, she was very successful with him, as she talks about in the book. And he did win the next competition he went into, but he did it with much better energy and mood levels. Okay, so finally she says, don't expect to be perfect. We all have slip-ups. If a cake or a bacon sandwich calls to you, don't tell yourself you're a bad person for succumbing. Just start again at your next meal. Congratulate yourself on your efforts and keep going. So, in terms of lunch, she's saying that the traditional lunch fare of sandwiches or sushi or baked potatoes or rice is a really bad idea if you're trying to either maintain a lean stature or drop weight. That it just, all it does is mess up your blood sugar. And if your blood sugar messes up, you're prone to putting weight on around your middle. So ending up with that muffin top. Obviously in the book, she doesn't just criticise the lunches as they are. She makes suggestions for what you can eat instead. And there are all of her recipes for what she suggests you can have as a brown bag or a bag lunch, or a lunch you bring from home, which you can either have on the move, or if you've got a microwave at the office, you can use. She also even gives you some sandwich recipes. I really do recommend the book if you are brown bagging your lunch. I also would suggest that if you're looking to save money, these are really healthy recipes for being able to make your lunch at home and save the cost, because not only when you buy buying a lunch are you potentially wrecking your diet attempt, but you're also spending quite a bit of money on that lunch, and that's money to make you unhealthy and overweight, not healthy and lean. So save the money and assist your diet plans by actually bringing your lunch with you to work. The ethos of all of the books is that the food is natural and it is normal. So there are no fads in there. There are no foods in there when you go, I don't know what that is, I need to Google that. All of the foods are normal foods. So there's nothing in here that would look odd or faddish. You're also not being required to drink 3 juices a day. So you can be a normal person sitting down with a normal lunch. Let me just go through, I'll just give you a summary of the sort of recipes that are in here in terms of what you could brown bag. So I'm looking here at the manuscript. This is only just coming out on Amazon. Okay, so here's some examples of things that are in the book. So there's homemade pita pockets with Thai-style crayfish and cucumber. Or there's turkey and cranberry on seed loaf, or there's Marrakesh chicken on buckwheat bread. There's prawn cocktail wrap. There's Middle Eastern chickpea, coconut and spinach lunch pot. That sounds nice. Provençal tuna and ratatouille lunch pot, or sweet and sour pork lunch pot. So that sounds okay, doesn't it? That sounds like that's food that you actually could enjoy. You won't believe it actually can take the weight off, but it will take the weight off. These are Maia's recipes from her weight loss clinic, so we know they work. If you're interested, you can get the book on Amazon. I'll put you a link below. I can't put a link here because we're not allowed to put Amazon links, but if you go on to the notes below the video, I'll put the link there, and also the links to the other books. If you are looking to lean up for summer, these are the only books, as far as I'm aware, that are actually based on weight loss clinic programs, so we know they work. It's not a guess. This is based on lots and lots of clients coming to these clinics and achieving success. So they really will help you take the weight off and keep it off, and do so in a healthy, sustainable, non-faddy way. So I'm very pleased you joined me. I hope that you found this useful. If you did, please like the video. You obviously can do that if you want to, but like, and if you think it's useful, but nobody else is trying to take weight off, please do share the video. You can reach me if you've got comments or particular queries around the books or exercise or weight loss. I'm at hello@3peaspublishing.com. That's hello@3peaspublishing.com. Again, I'll put the link below the video. I would love to hear from you. It's always nice to have comments. I appreciate you're busy. I'm honoured that you spent the time with me. I hope I've been of use and I've been of service in this video, and I will see you soon. It's Catherine from 3Ps. Bye.